Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maharan Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Shatarashata Shimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Guru Dev Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Shatarashata Shimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Shatarashata Shimar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Shatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Shatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaiṣṇavas Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dasagunath, Shard Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal, Gaura Mandal, Vraja Mandal, Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai. Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada's Gaudiya Bhashya Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Grantharaj Śrīmad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Nimāi Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, everybody. Let's see who's all there. Nobody joined on Zoom yet. Let's see if it's streaming all right. Okay, looks like it is. Hari Bol, say Shri Mataji and Ganga Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Hari Bol. Alright, so which kirtan should we sing for Mahaprabhu today? Let's see if this is finished loading yet. Nope, word is still not finished loading. Okay, so then we'll have to do it on this. What about Gauranga Dutti Pada? Okay, just checking the comments to see if there's any special requests. Hey, Karuna Didi, Haribol. Okay, so Gauranga Dutti Pada by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. That person for whom the two lotus feet of Sri Gauranga are his wealth and property knows the essence of bhakti ras. That person for whom the sweet pastimes of Gauranga have entered the ears is pure in heart. Within one who takes Gauranga's holy names, prem arises. I heartily glorify such a person. To one whose eyes stream tears in appreciation of Gauranga's transcendental qualities, the divine couple's eternal pastimes become manifest. Such a person is qualified for bhakti. One who reveres Gauranga's personal associates as eternally perfected souls goes to the transcendental that person goes to the transcendental abode of Rajendra Sutta, the son of the king of Vraj. One who knows the land of Śrī Gaudamandal to be spiritual touchstone achieves residence in the land of Vraj. One who dives into the waves of the ocean of Gaur Prem becomes a confidential associate of Shri Shri Radha Madhav. Whether a person lives in his home as a householder or in the forest as a renunciate, if he exclaims, "Ha Gauranga!" Narottam Das begs for his association. Okay, cool. Now this is all ready. Okay, 1 second. গৌরাঙ্গের দুটি পদ যার ধন সম্পদ ও গৌরাঙ্গের দুটি পদ যার ধন সম্পদ সে জানে ভক্তি রস সার সে জানে ভক্তি রস সার গৌরাঙ্গের মধুর লীলা যার কর্ণে প্রবেশিলা গৌরাঙ্গের মধুর লীলা যার কর্ণে প্রবেশিলা হৃদয় নির্মল ভেল হৃদয় নির্মল ভেল যে গৌরাঙ্গের নাম লয় তার হয় প্রেমোদয় যে গৌরাঙ্গের নাম লয় তার হয় প্রেমোদয় তারে মই যাই বলে হারি তারে মই যাই বলে হারি গৌরাঙ্গ গুণেতে ঝুরে নিত্য লীলা তারে স্ফুরে গৌরাঙ্গ গুণেতে ঝুরে নিত্য লীলা তারে স্ফুরে সে জানব কতি অধিকারী সে জানব কতি অধিকারী গৌরাঙ্গের সঙ্গী গণে নিত্য সিদ্ধ করি মানে গৌরাঙ্গের kori mane ashe jai Vrajendra Suta Pash she jai Vrajendra Suta Pasha she jai Vrajendra Suta Pasha she jai Vrajendra Suta Pasha Shri Gaura-mandala bhumi je bajane chintamani Shri Gaura-mandala bhumi je bajane chintamani tar hoy braj bhume vasa 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 Gaura prema rasarnave she tarange jeva dube Gaura prema rasarnave she tarange jeva dube she Radha Madhava Ayantaranga she Radha Madhava Antaranga Grihe Bhavane te thake Aha Gauranga bole dake grihe bhavane te thake Aha Gauranga bole dake Narottama mage tar shanga Narottama mage tar shanga Grihe bhavane te thake ha Gauranga bole dake Grihe bhavane te thake ha Gauranga bole dake Narottama mage tar sanga Narottama mage tar sanga Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Śrī Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, everybody. Hari Bol, Shubhananda Prabhu, Nri Hari Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. And Raseshwari Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantaramurti Mataji, and Karuna Didi. Oh wow, that's so cool! Karuna Didi is painting for Shamarani Mataji at the Sacred Vedic Arts Center. Wow, that's awesome! Wonderful seva. Alright. So I'll share my screen and we will go through the Mangala Charan. 1 second. Don't I have such a nice background behind me? I'm in a very rural part of Navadvip right now. I'm going to be living here actually. Let me know if the internet connection is good today because, yeah. If it isn't good, then I can stay in my room at Keshavji Gaudiya and use the Wi-Fi there. But if this works, then it's better if I stay here because I'm staying with a friend who doesn't really, like, it's not good for him to be alone. I mean, it's not nice for him to be alone, that's what I mean. Alright. So, Mangala Charan. Prayers invoking auspiciousness. Ajnanatirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaiṣṇavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya-taksho Vishvambharo dvijavaro yugadharma palo Vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. Namastrikala satyaya jagannatha sutaya cha sabhrityaya saputraya sakalatraya te namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje. Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakaba Kamalaya Tekshana Varajanu Vilambi Sharbhujo Bahudha Bhakti Rasa Bhinartaka. Jayati Jayati Deva Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Chandro Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra. Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishvesha Murter. Jayati Jayati Nrityang Tasya Sarva Priyana. Adya Śrī Caitanya Priya Goshtir Charane Ashesha Prakare Mur Danda Paraname. Tabe Vando Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatara Nama Vishvambhar. Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamang Charanantikam. Bhaktya Vihina aparada lakshya kshiptashtakamaditaranga madhe kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadādhara Śrīvāsari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now we're reading the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya-charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 8, verses 33 to 42. Ore muro lok shuno Caitanya mangal, Caitanya mahima jate jani beshaka. Kṛṣṇa lila bhagavate kohe ved vyas, Caitanya lilar vyas Vrindavana das. Vrindavana das koilo Caitanya mangal, Jahan Rashravane nashe sarvaya mangal. Caitanya nitar jate janiye mahima, jate jani Kṛṣṇa bhakti siddhanter sima. Bhagavate jato bhakti siddhanter sar, likhiyachen iha jani koriya udhar. Caitanya mangala shune jadi pashanti javan, Sheho maha Vaiṣṇava hoy tataphan. Manushe rachite nare aiche grantha dhanya, Vrindavana dasa mukhe bhakta Śrī Caitanya. Vrindavana dasa pade koti namaskar, aiche grantha korite ho tharila sangar. Narayani Caitanyer uchishta bhajan, Tar garbe janmila Śrī dasa Vrindavan. Tar ki arbhuta Caitanya charita varnan, Jahan Rashravane shuddha koilo tribhuvan. Sahaje vichitra madhur Caitanya vihar, Vrindavana dasa mukhe amriter dhar. Vrindavana dasa mukhe amriter dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Hari Bol, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu, Karuna Didi, Indira Mataji, and Gopikant Prabhu, Sudevi Didi, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji. Yes, Karuna Didi is painting for Shamarani Mataji right now in Miami at the Sacred Arts Center. It's really cool. I'm just looking at the chat. Oh, Kishore is asking where I am today. I am in an area called Bagan Bari. It's, you go to, like, before you get to Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj's Samadhi, you have to go under this bridge. So you go far down that way, like straight. Keep on going far down. And then you turn left, and then you go far down that way, and you turn right, and then you go far down that right way, and then you come to where I am. It's very rural. There's, on all sides it's just fields. It's really peaceful here. But Yeah, my friend is staying here. Actually, oh, Hari Bol, Mahi Bharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Actually, Gurudev's Pujari, he's staying here right now. And he's all by himself here. And so that's why I shifted over here. I don't know how long I'll be living here for, as long as he is, though. So, but if there are ever internet problems, I can go back to Keshivji Gaudiya and use the Wi-Fi system there, if this is just not good enough. So you can let me know. Kishore Prabhu, would you like to recap what we read yesterday, or I can also just read from here? Let me know which one you'd like.
I wasn't here yesterday. I was with Badayan Maharaj. She was here in the area.
Okay. Oh, was Raseshwari Mataji there also?
I didn't see her there.
Okay. Okay. Because Raseshwari Mataji is a disciple of Badayan Maharaj. And Raseshwari is here with us right now. Right? I'm just double checking. Yes, she was the first person to join. Okay. Okay, one day, as Śrī Gaurasundar was returning home from teaching, by providence, he met Ishwar Puri on the way. The Lord, who is Jagat Guru, displayed honor to his devotees by immediately offering obeisances to his servant. Seeing Nimāi's wonderful effulgence, Ishwar Puri inquired about his identity and the subject of his studies. Nimāi answered all of Ishwar Puri's inquiries and then respectfully brought him home for lunch. After Shachi Devi cooked and offered foodstuffs to Kṛṣṇa and fed Ishwar Puri began to discuss topics of Kṛṣṇa with Nimāi. While discussing Kṛṣṇa Katha, Ishwar Puri became overwhelmed with love of God. Ishwar Puri stayed in Navadip at the house of Śrī Gopinathacharya for a few months, and Nimāi regularly went to see him. Seeing the devotion of Gadādhara Pandit, who is renounced from his childhood, Ishwar Puri began to affectionately teach him his book Śrī Kṛṣṇa Lilamrita. Every evening, after studying and teaching, Nimāi went to offer obeisances to Ishwar Puri. One day, Ishwar Puri requested Nimāi Pandit to point out the mistakes in his Śrī Kṛṣṇa Lilamrita, and indicated his desire to correct the mistakes under Nimāi's guidance. Hearing his words, the Lord condemned mundane scholarship and spoke the following invaluable nectarian words. He said, "First of all, this book is composed by such a pure devotee as Puripad, and moreover, it is full of topics about Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, whoever finds faults in this book is certainly an offender. The poetry of a pure devotee, in whatever form it may be, is always pleasing to Kṛṣṇa. There is no doubt about it. The Supreme Lord never sees any grammatical faults in the statements of his devotees, for he is controlled by devotion, and he accepts the sentiments of his devotees." He is Bhav Grahi Janardhan. We came across that very beautiful Sanskrit verse, and the last words of it was Bhav Grahi Janardhan. Kṛṣṇa only accepts the bhav, the feelings, the sentiments of a devotee. That's what he accepts. It's not just the external offering. It's the love that the offering is offered with. A person who finds faults in the statements of a devotee is himself full of faults. No one is so audacious as to find faults in the descriptions of the Supreme Lord by a pure devotee like Puripad. Wow, it's raining. Can you hear that in the background? A person who finds faults in this... but Ishwar Puri repeatedly requested Nimāi to point out the faults in his book. In this way, Ishwar Puri regularly spent an hour or two with Nimāi, discussing various subjects. After hearing a verse from Ishwar Puri's book one day, Nimāi Pandit sportingly said, "The verb in this verse should be parasmaipadi instead of atmanepadi. It should be in active voice rather than in middle voice." Whoa. Whoa. Did you see that behind me? Look at that. Oh my God. That's really nuts. I'm gonna go inside the room. I just flew over my bicycle. Actually, no. Is the wind too much? Because I'm not getting wet right now. Maybe I can just stay here. Tell me the wind is. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna move this up further. 1 second. Hold on, I'm gonna Thank you. That's good. Okay. Huh? Haruki. All right. So, yes, it's raining. Yes. All right. So, the power just went out. I can only see one eye. That's kind of scary looking, isn't it? Let me see if I can move it. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Let me share my screen again. The sound is not good. Is it okay now? I can turn off the background noise if it's way too loud now still. I'll check back in a minute. Okay. So, after hearing a verse from Ishvara Puri's book one day, Nimāi said that the verb in this verse should be Kṛṣṇa instead of Atmanepadi. Another day, when Nimāi came back, Ishvara Puri said, the verb that you have accepted as Atmanepadi, the verb that you have not accepted as Atmanepadi, I have accepted as Atmanepadi, in the active voice. In order to increase the glories and display the victory of his servant, the Lord did not point out any further faults. In this way, after spending some time enjoying educational pastimes with Nimāi, Ishvara Puri left Navadvip to continue sanctifying the holy places of India. Okay, I'm checking to see if it's way too loud. Yes, please use noise cancellation. Okay, 1 second. Let me just open up the noise cancellation thing. Where is it? Here. Preferences, audio. Okay, is that okay? Let me know if that's a lot better. If it's not good enough, then I could even turn on more noise cancellation. I try to not do it. Wait, I'm just checking the chat. Okay, Kishore says it's good. Cool. Yeah, the more extreme noise cancellation I turn on, the worse the quality of my voice gets. So that's why I just, right now it's in the middle. Okay. So this is then, in this way, after spending some time enjoying educational pastimes with Nimāi, Ishvara Puri left Navadvip to continue sanctifying the holy places of India. So that's where we left off yesterday. And now, today we're reading chapter 12, the Lord's wandering throughout Navadvip. So this is the Katha Sar by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj when he was a brahmachari, Pranavananda brahmachari. This chapter mainly describes Sri Gauranga's wandering the streets of Navadvip. It also is discussing scriptures on the bank of the Ganga and his manifestation of various opulences. All right, so now more in-depth summary. Among the best of teachers, learned scholars, and bhattacharyas of Navadvip, None could stand before or defeat Nimāi in debate. In the company of his disciples, Nimāi wandered the streets of Navadvip like an independent lord. One day, by providence, Nimāi met Mukunda on the path and asked him why he stayed far away from him. And then Nimāi also told Mukunda that if he could not answer his question, he would not leave him alone. Knowing that Nimāi had knowledge of only grammar, Mukunda resolved to silence him by asking him questions on alaṅkāra. Nimāi, however, pointed out the various alaṅkāric faults while totally breaking Mukunda's poetic talents to pieces. Seeing Nimāi's unlimited knowledge, Mukunda was astonished and resolved, if such an intelligent person became a devotee of Kṛṣṇa, I would never leave his association. On another day, when Nimāi met Gadādhara Pandit, he asked him the symptoms of liberation. When Gadādhara told the Lord the symptoms of liberation according to the conclusions of the Nyaya Shastras, the Lord pointed out the various faults. When Gadādhara Pandit said, mitigation of excessive misery is a symptom of liberation, Mahaprabhu, the master of Saraswati, refuted it. Every afternoon, Nimāi discussed the Shastras with students on the bank of the Ganga. Although the Vaiṣṇavas were greatly pleased to hear the Lord's wonderful explanations of the scriptures, they thought that if such a learned person as Nimāi became a devotee of Kṛṣṇa, then everything would be successful. The devotees prayed in this way, let Nimāi have attachment for Kṛṣṇa. Out of love, some blessed him, saying, let Nimāi attain devotion to Kṛṣṇa. Whenever Nimāi saw the devotees, so this is where we're reading up to today, that point. Then tomorrow we'll read. Whenever Nimāi saw the devotees headed by Śrīvas, he manifested the pastime of offering obeisances, thus demonstrating by his own behavior that devotional service to Kṛṣṇa is awakened only by the blessings of devotees. According to their respective mentality and qualification, various people saw the Lord in various ways. Even the Yavanas were attracted to the Lord when they saw him. Nimāi taught his students grammar in the Chandi Mandap hall within the courtyard of the fortunate Mukunda Sanjaya of Navadvip. One day, the Lord manifested transformations of ecstatic love on the pretext of a disorder of winds, a gastric disorder. Being illusions by Yoga Maya, the Lord's friends and relatives, who have natural affection for him, applied various medicinal oils on the Lord's head. Sometimes the Lord, who always enjoys pastimes, proudly and loudly disclosed the truth about himself. When by his own sweet will the Lord manifested a return to his normal state, everyone there happily chanted the names of Hari. At that time, the residents of Nadia, whose only life and soul was Śrī Gaur, joyfully distributed clothes and other items to the poor and distressed. After sporting in the waters of the Ganga with his students at noontime, the Lord would return home, worship Lord Kṛṣṇa, offer water to Tulsi, circumambulate her, and then accept foodstuffs given by Lakshmi Priya. After glancing towards Yoga Nidra for some time, he would again leave for teaching. In other words, after taking a nap. On his way, he would talk and joke with the residents of Navadvip. One day, on reaching the house of a weaver, Nimāi asked for some cloth and accepted what was given without payment. He didn't pay him for the cloth. Another day, Nimāi went to the house of some cowherd men and asked for some yogurt and milk. Addressing the Lord as Mama, or uncle, the cowherd men joked with him in various ways and gave him plenty of yogurt and milk, free of charge. The Lord also revealed the truth about his own identity on the pretext of joking with them. One day, the Lord accepted various divine perfumes from the perfume merchant. One day, he accepted a garland of various flowers from the florist. And one day, he accepted betel nuts and similar spices from the pawn merchant. In this way, the Lord pleased them by accepting their free gifts. Being overwhelmed on seeing the matchless beauty of the Lord, everyone offered him various free items. On another day, when he arrived at the house of a conch merchant, the conch merchant gave Gaur Narayan a conch and offered his obeisances. He did not ask any payment in exchange. One day, the Lord went to the house of an astrologer and asked about the details of his previous birth. As soon as the astrologer began to chant the Gopal mantra in order to calculate the Lord's horoscope, he immediately saw various pastimes of Kṛṣṇa and wonderful forms of the Lord in his meditation. While seeing those wonderful forms, the astrologer opened his eyes and saw Gaur Hari before him, and then he again entered into his meditation. But by the influence of the Lord's internal potency, he could not recognize the Lord. Struck with wonder, he thought, perhaps a demigod or someone expert in mantras has come here in the guise of a Brahmin to test me. One day, the Lord went to the house of Śrīdhara and asked him, though you are serving the husband of Lakshmi, why are you bereft of food and clothes? And why is your house old and broken? Why are ordinary people who worship Durga and Vishahari so materially prosperous? In reply, Śrīdhara said, a king living in a palace and eating palatable foodstuffs, and a bird living in its nest in a tree and eating whatever it finds in various places, both pass their time in the same way. There is no difference in their enjoyment of happiness, because everyone enjoys the respective fruits of karma. In this way, on the pretext of joking, the Lord disclosed the glories of a devotee, and he daily obtained banana shoots, bananas, and banana flowers free of charge from Śrīdhara. The Lord revealed the truth of his own identity while disclosing the glories of Śrīdhara. He indicated that he belongs to a family of cowherds, and that he was the controller of the Ganga and other energies. Then, as the Lord returned home from the house of Śrīdhara, the students also returned to their homes after the completion of their studies. One day, when the Lord saw the full moon in the sky, he became absorbed in the mood of Sri Vrindavan Chandra, and in that mood, he began to play wonderfully on a flute. No one other than Shachi Devi could hear the sound of that flute. After hearing that sound, Shachi Devi came out of the room, and she saw Nimāi at the door of the Vishnu temple. As Shachi Devi approached, she could no longer hear the sound of the flute, but she saw the moon directly manifest on her son's chest. In this way, Shachi Devi regularly saw unlimited opulences on Lord Gaur. One day, when Srivas Pandit met the Lord on the pathway, he asked him, Nimāi, why are you wasting time by not engaging your mind in the worship of Kṛṣṇa? What will you gain by studying and teaching day and night? People study only for the purpose of understanding devotional service to Kṛṣṇa. If that is not achieved, then what is the benefit of such useless education? Therefore, do not waste any more time. You have studied enough. Now, without wasting another moment, begin worshiping Kṛṣṇa. Hearing these words from the mouth of his devotee, the Lord said, O Pandit, you are a devotee. By your mercy, I will certainly be able to worship Kṛṣṇa. In conclusion, since the author, who is the king of devotees, did not take birth during the Lord's scholastic pastimes, he humbly laments that though he was bereft of experiencing this happiness, he nevertheless begs for the mercy of Gaur Sundar and prays that remembrance of the transcendental pastimes of Gaur be ever illuminated in his heart in every birth. Wherever Sri Gaur Sundar and Nityananda enact their pastimes with their associates, the author's only prayer is to remain with them as their servant. So yeah, this is a very long chapter. We'll be reading this over the next 4 days. Okay, now we begin. What verse are we reading up to? Let me just check. We're reading up to verse 62. Oh, Haribo, Govinda Saha. Haribo. Oh, maybe I can show afterwards. Govinda Saha, the other day, he went to, let me just check it out. It is the Shripat of Abhiram, what was it? Abhiram Thakur? Let me just look down at my, anyways, maybe at the end we can take a look at the video. This is Abhiram Gopal Thakur. who is Śrī in Kṛṣṇa Lila. So yeah, it's just right here. Look at that. How come it's not going big? Here, now it's big. There. See? Oh, you can't hear the sounds, can you? So Nimāi Chand and Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya with their associates took feast under the Siddhava pool. And there's a temple. And there is Balaram Gopinath and Abhiram Gopal Thakur. Isn't that so cool? I want to go there so badly. Yeah, very beautiful, huh? All right, so let's begin our reading. Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Shri Gora Sundar Jaya Ho Prabhu Jateka Anuchar. All glories to Mahaprabhu Shri Gora Sundar. All glories to the followers of the Lord. He namate navadipe Shri Gora Sundar Pustaka loiya krida kore nirantar. In this way, Śrī Gaurasundar, with a book in hand, always enjoyed pastimes in Navadvip. Jata adhyapaka Prabhu chalena sabare Prabhu dhite shakti kona jana nahi dhare. He challenged any teacher he challenged any teacher he would meet, but none of them had the power to defeat him. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Śrī Gaurasundar defeated in scriptural debate all the teachers of Navadvip, which was the center of education. None of the teachers could compete with him or satisfy him with answers to his. Nobody can satisfy him with answers to his challenges. Vyakarana shastre sabe vedyar adhan bhattacharya prati o nahi kotrina gyan. Although he was simply a student of grammar, he nevertheless considered the learned Bhattacharyas to be as insignificant as grass. Gaudiya Bhashya. Learned scholars who are expert in philosophical literatures are known as Bhattacharyas. Although the Lord was studying and teaching only grammar, he nevertheless did not consider such great scholars. He did not consider such great scholars as equal to even grass. Svanubhavanande kore nagara brahman sanghati parama bhagyavanta shishyagan. The self-satisfied Lord traveled throughout Navadvip along with his most fortunate students. Gaudiya Bhashya. No one was able to contradict the Lord's realized knowledge. The Lord wandered the streets of Navadvip by his own sweet will. At that time, the most fortunate subordinate students kept company with the Lord. Daive pate mukunder shange darashan haste dhori prabhu tane bolen vachan. One day, by providence, the Lord met Mukunda on the road. The Lord held Mukunda's hand and spoke to him. Amare dekhiya tumi ki karje palao aji ama prabodhiya bina dekhi jao. Remember, the other day we read about when the Lord was walking towards the Ganga and Mukunda saw him from a distance and he ran away. And then the Lord said, how long will you run away from me, Mukunda? That was, I think, a few days ago we read about that. And he explained at that time to Govinda that he would become the greatest devotee and that Brahma and Shiva would come to his door and like that. So now he's bringing that up again. He said, why do you run away as soon as you see me? Let me see how you run away today without answering me. Mane bhabe mukunda aji jani mu kemone ihana abhyasa sab matra vyakarane. Mukunda thought, how will I defeat him today? He is well versed only in grammar. Te kaimu aji jigyasiya alaṅkāra, mor sane jeno garva na koren ar. I'll defeat him with questions on alaṅkāra. Then he may not again display his pride before me. Alaṅkāra is like ornamental, poetic, ornamental things like that, right? Gaudiya Bhashya. As soon as Mukunda was caught on the road by the Lord, he thought that Nimāi always insulted him, thinking him as ignorant of grammar. Therefore, considering Nimāi as inexperienced in alaṅkāra shastras, he thought that he'd raise questions or problems in alaṅkāra and completely defeat Nimāi. In other words, if Nimāi's lack of knowledge in alaṅkāra shastra were revealed, he would never again brag or exhibit pride over his learning before Mukunda. The word te kaimu, I will cheat, means to put someone in danger or illusion, to confuse, to embarrass, to put obstacles or check one's movement, to defeat, or in other words, to overpower. Lagilo jigyasa mukunder prabhu sane, prabhu khande jata artha mukunda vakhane. Thereafter, Mukunda began to ask the Lord questions. Whatever Mukunda established, the Lord would refute. Mukunda bolen vyakarana shishu shastra, balake she ihar vichara kore matra. Mukunda said, grammar is studied only by children. Alaṅkāra vichar koribo tomastane, prabhu kohe bhujator jebaloy mane. Today, we should discuss alaṅkāra. The Lord replied, as you desire. Vishama jata kavitva prachar, puriya mukunda jigyasaye alaṅkāra. Mukunda then read some of the most difficult yet well-known verses, and he asked the Lord to point out any faults. Sarva Shakti Moy Gora Chandra Avatar, Khanda Khanda Kori Doshe Saba alaṅkāra. The omnipotent Lord Gaurachandra then pointed out various faults in the verses. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since Śrī Gaurasundar is the omnipotent supreme personality of Godhead and the source of all incarnations, his knowledge in all scriptures is matchless. Therefore, the Lord pointed out various ornamental faults in Mukunda's questions. Mukunda stapite nare prabhur kandhan, hasya prabhu bolen bachan. Mukunda was unable to re-establish what the Lord had refuted. The Lord then smiled and said to him, Aji ghare giya bhalo mate punti chaho, kali bhuji baya jhata asi bare chaho. Go home for today and study your books carefully. Come early tomorrow and we will discuss further. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word bhuji baya means I will test you by analysis. Chalila mukunda loy charaner dhuli, mane mane chintaye mukunda kutuhali. After Mukunda took the dust from Nimai's feet and departed, he thought, Manusher emota panditya ache kotha, heno shastra nahi ko, abhyasa nahi jatha. An ordinary human being cannot possess such knowledge. There is no literature that he is not conversant with. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Lord was learned in all scriptures. There is no scripture that the Lord had not already mastered. In fact, unlimited expertise in all scriptures was present in him. E mata subuddhi Kṛṣṇa bhakta hoy jabe, dile ko ihana sanga na chari tobe. If such an intelligent person was a devotee of Kṛṣṇa, then I would not leave his association for even a moment. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mukunda began to think about the Lord as follows. He thought, if such an extraordinary, knowledgeable, and intelligent person engaged his mind in worshiping Kṛṣṇa, then I would not leave his association and go elsewhere for even a moment. Knowledge elevates a person to the highest position in this world, or makes one extraordinarily respectable. But if along with such knowledge, devotion to the Lord manifests in a great personality, then it is like gold mixed with borax. What's borax? I'm just checking what does borax mean? Less intelligent devotees should always hear the scriptures from learned devotees. Borax is a white mineral in some alkaline salt deposits used in making glass and ceramics. Okay, but it's the second one. Good-natured, teasing, or ridicule, banter. They take a bit of borax, but that is part of the job. In Australian, New Zealand informal talk, they say poke borax at, deride or make fun of. Okay. Good-natured teasing or ridicule, banter.
Hari Bol, Prabhu.
Yes, Shubhanand Prabhu.
There is a saying in Hindi, Sone pe suhaga. I think that is what is the meaning.
Could you explain
it? Is like gold mixed borax. Sone pe suhaga. Suhaga means borax.
Okay. Could you explain like what is implied by that though? Like by that Hindi saying, what is the implication? Like what does it mean basically? Like not literally, but like what is it kind of saying?
I think this suhaga borax is mainly used for the cleansing of the gold, removing impurities from the gold.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense then. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. So knowledge elevates a person to the highest position in this world and makes one extraordinarily respectable. But if along with such knowledge, devotion to the Lord manifests in a great personality, then it is like gold mixed with borax. Okay, thank you. Less intelligent devotees should always hear the scriptures from learned devotees. By hearing scriptures in this way, one's devotional service will be refined. If a living entity considers devotional scriptures or spiritual knowledge as equal to ordinary mundane knowledge, which aims at material enjoyment, then his devotional service is not enhanced. Hearing topics of the Lord from pure devotees is the only support in the less intelligent devotees hearing topics of the Lord from pure devotees is the only support in the less intelligent devotees' worship of the Supreme Lord. This is an important sentence there. Our only support in our worship, in our seva, is harikatha from pure devotees. Otherwise, their propensity for worshiping the Lord diminishes day by day, and being attacked by the influence of beliefs of the sahajiyas, they fall from the worship of the Lord. So harikatha is essential. Okay, thanks for sharing that, Shubhanand Prabhu. Thank you. Generally, the Prakrit Sahajyas are very foolish. Proudly considering themselves expert in bhajan, they become confused by opposing the scriptures, and they stray far away from the Mahajan's all auspicious statements like Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Hridaye Koriya Aikya. One must consider the instructions of the sadhu, the revealed scriptures, and the spiritual master in order to understand the real purpose of spiritual life. It doesn't just mean one must consider these three. It means that one should make the words of sadhu, shastra, and guru, they should make those words one with their heart, which means, in other words, they should completely, those words should make one who one is, like it should be what transforms one. Like they should mold their lives around the words of sadhu, guru, and shastra. Like have those words shape who they are to their core. Verse 20. Emate vidyarase Vaikunta Ishvar Brahmite dekhen ar dine Gadādhara. So in this way, the Lord of Vaikunta enjoyed the life of a scholar. One day, while wandering about Navadvip, Nimāi met Gadādhara. Hasidui hate Prabhu Rakhila Dhoriya Nyai poro tumi amar jao prabodhiya. The Lord smiled as he caught Gadādhara's hands and said, "Aren't you studying logic? Come, let us debate." Jigyasaho Gadādhar boloye bachan, Prabhu bole koho deki muktir lakhan. Gadādhar said, "So, question me." And Nimāi asked, "What are the symptoms, what are the lakshan of liberation, of mukti?" Shastra artha jeno Gadādhar baka nila, Prabhu bolen vyakhya korite na janila. Gadādhar then explains the symptoms of liberation according to the scriptures. But Nimāi countered, "You do not know how to explain properly." Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Gadādhara Pandit explains to Nimāi the lesson that he had learned that day. Hearing this, the Lord replied, "Your explanation is not good." Gadādhar bole atyantika dukkanash, ihare shastre kohe muktir prakash. Gadādhar then said, "Liberation is freedom from misery. This is the meaning of liberation according to the scriptures." What is mukti? It is atyantika dukkanash. Means complete destruction of any kind of dukh, of any kind of suffering. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Gadādhara said, "It is stated in various scriptures, such as the Sankhya Shastras, that mitigation of excessive distress is the symptom of liberation." In the Sankhya Pravachan Sutras, the first sutra, it is stated, "Atta trivida dukkatyanta nivritir atyanta purushartha." Mitigation of the threefold miseries is the goal of life. 25. Nana rupe doshe Prabhu Saraswati pati, heno nahi tarkiko je koribe kastiti. Then the Lord, who is the husband of the goddess of goddess Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, he pointed out various faults in the statement. The Lord, the husband of Saraswati, pointed out various faults in his statement. There is no one who could defeat his argument and silence him. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Lord is a direct manifestation of the Vaishnava literatures, and he is the master of the goddess of learning, Saraswati. Therefore, no one can equal him in argument. Śrī Gaurasundar properly pointed out how the symptoms of liberation mentioned in the Nyaya Shastras are most useless and full of faults. Inaugurating the philosophy of Śrī Madhvacharya-pad, that moksham vishvangri labham, the symptom of liberation is attainment of the lotus feet of Vishnu. So inaugurating that philosophy of Madhvacharya-pad, he established that the existence of the gross and subtle bodies, which enjoys happiness and distress, is temporary, and the living entity's eternal propensity or constitutional duty of devotional service to Lord Kṛṣṇa is the symptom of liberation. Hari Bol Bhavatarini Mataji. Hare Krishna. Haribo. He no jana nahi ko je Prabhu sane bole Gadādhara bhave aji varti palaile. No one even dared to speak with the Lord. And thus Gadādhara thought, I will be relieved to get out of here. I will be relieved to get out of here. Gaudiya Bhashya. No one in the entire universe was qualified to face the Lord's challenge or converse with him. Gadādhara Pandit thought, I'll be saved if I can run away from him. The word varti from the Sanskrit dhatu vrit means I remain present. In this case, I am spared, or I saved my life. So what does it say? Aji varti palaile. I'll be saved if I get out of here. If I escape, if I run away, I'll be spared. 27. Prabhu bole Gadādhar aji jaho ghar kali buji baya tumi asi ho satvar. The Lord said, Gadādhar, you can go home today, but come early tomorrow so that we can discuss more. 28. Namaskari Gadādhar cholilen ghare Thakur Brahmin sarva nagare nagare. Gadādhar offered his respects to Nimāi and went home, and Nimāi continued to wander through the streets of Navadvip. 29. Parama pandita gyan hoilo sabar sabe koren dekhi sambrama apar. Everyone considered Nimāi a most learned scholar, so they treated him with awe and reverence. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Lord defeated all the teachers of Navadvip by his unparalleled knowledge and was established as the most learned scholar. Everyone respected him as the foremost scholar. Vikale Thakura Sarva Paruvar Shange Ganga Tire Asiya Vaiṣṇavas Maharange. Every afternoon, Nimāi would sit on the bank of the Ganga with his students. One second, I think now the rain stopped, I can change the sound again. References, audio, there. Sorry, one second, done. Okay, so every afternoon, Nimāi would sit on the bank of the Ganga with his students. Sindhu Sutta Sevita Prabhur Kalevar Tribhuvane Advitiya Madana Sundar. The Lord's body is served by Lakshmi, the daughter of the ocean. His beauty surpasses that of Cupid and is therefore incomparable throughout the three worlds. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Sindhu Sutta refers to Śrī Lakshmi Devi, who appeared during the churning of the ocean. She is described in the Brahma Samhita, verse 29, as follows. Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasam Brahma Sevyamanam Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis, or gopis. Chaturdike Bediya Vaiṣṇ Shishyagan Madhya Shastra Bakanen Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. Surrounded by his students, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata would give explanations on the scriptures. Vaiṣṇavas sakale tabe sandhya kala hoile asiya Vaiṣṇ Ganga tire kutuhale. In the evening, all the Vaishnavas also gathered on the bank of the Ganga. Dure thaki prabhur vyakhyan sabhe shune harishe vishada sabhe bhabe mane mane. As they listened to Nimāi's explanations from a distance, they felt both happiness and they felt lamentation. They felt happiness and lamentation. Keho bole heno rup, heno vidyajar, na bhojile Krishna nahe kichu upakar. One of them said, if anyone who possesses such beauty and knowledge does not worship Krishna, there is no benefit. Gaudiya Bhashya. In this world, a beautiful form is the object of praise. So also is great learning. But what is beautiful or learned when those with beauty or learning factually neither benefit themselves nor others if they do not worship Krishna? Shabe bolen bhai uhane dekhiya, phanki jigyasar bhaye, jai polaira, sorry. They all replied, dear brother, anyone who sees him runs away in fear of facing his challenge. Keho bole dekha hoile na den eriya, mahadani pray jeno rakhen dhoriya. Someone else said, when he sees someone, he doesn't allow him to leave. He captures him just like a tax collector captures a debtor. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Mahadani Prai means like a highly posted royal servant who collects taxes, revenues, or rents. Keho bole brahmaner shakti amanushi kono mahapurush bahoy heno vasi. Another said, this Brahmana has uncommon potency. I think he must be some great personality. Yadyapiha nirantar bakhane na phanki tatapi santosho boro paya iha dekhi. Although he constantly asks shrewd questions, we still get great satisfaction just by seeing him. Manusher emono pandita dekinai, Kṛṣṇa na bhajena shabe e dukha pai. We've never seen such knowledge in an ordinary person. Our only regret is that he doesn't worship Krishna. Our only regret is that he does not worship Krishna. Anyone shabe sadhena sabha prati, sabe bolo ihana hoka Krishna rati. The Vaishnavas all requested each other, bless Nimāi so that his mind will be fixed on Krishna. Dandavata hoy shabe porila gangare sarva bhagavata meli ashirvada kore. Then they all offered their obeisances on the bank of the Ganga and blessed Nimāi with a prayer. They prayed, Heno koro Krishna Jagannathir Nandan, Tor rase matta ho chari anyaman. O Krishna, please let the son of Jagannath Mishra become absorbed in you without any deviation. Sorry. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Vaishnavas of Navadvip began to pray to Lord Krishna. May Nimāi Pandit, the son of Jagannath Mishra, give up all other endeavors and fully engage in worshipping Krishna. May Nimāi Pandit also manifest uncommon endeavors in the devotional service of Krishna, like those that have, May he also manifest uncommon endeavors in the devotional service of Krishna, like those that have earned him the highest elevated position of learning in the world. Niravadi prema bhabe bhajuk tomare, heno shanga Krishna deho ama sabakare. Let him constantly worship you in love. O Lord, please let us have such association. Antaryami Prabhu Chitta Janen Savar, Shivasari Dekhile Kore Namaskar. As the Supersoul, the Lord knows the heart of all living entities. Whenever he saw devotees like Śrīvas, he would offer them his respects. Bhakta Ashirvada Prabhu, Shire Koriloy, Bhakta Ashirvade She Krishnete Bhakti Hoy. The Lord accepted the devotee's blessings on his head, for devotional service to Lord Krishna is attained only by the blessings of the devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. Although the Lord is the only sovereign master of the 14 worlds, he nevertheless accepted on his head the blessings of his devotees. The devotees' blessings are so powerful that by their influence, even a living entity who is averse to Krishna becomes attached to his lotus feet. Keho keho shakshate o Prabhu dekhi bole, ki karje goao kala tumi vidya bhole. Someone also directly told Nimāi. They said to him, "Why are you wasting your time with mundane education?" Keho bole hero dekho, Nimāi pandita, vidyai ki lava Krishna bhajoho tvarita. Another person said, "Look, Nimāi, what do you gain from studying? Just worship Krishna." Pore kene lok Krishna bhakti jani bare, she jadi nahilo tabe vidyai ki kore. Why do people study? Education is only for understanding education is only for understanding devotional service to Lord Krishna. If that purpose is not served, then what is the use of your education? Gaudiya Bhashya. Devotion to Krishna, or achieving devotional service to Krishna, is the perfection of all knowledge and learning. If devotion to Krishna is not attained, then all endeavors for accumulating knowledge are useless. Knowledge that does not awaken one's attachment for Krishna simply increases one's material illusion. That is why Srimad Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written in his Kalyana Kalpataru, Jara vidya jata mayara vaibhava tomara bhajane badha moha janamiya anitya sangsare jiva ke koro ye gadha. That means materialistic studies are the glare of Maya only, for they are an obstacle to spiritual progress. They create illusion in this material world and turn the living entity into an ass. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya, chapter 8, verse 245, it is stated, on one occasion, the Lord inquired, "Of all types of education, which is the most important?" Ramananda Rai replied, "No education is important other than the transcendental devotional service of Krishna." Verse 50. Hasi bole Prabhu boro bhagya she amar tomra shikhao more Krishna bhakti sar. The Lord smiled and said, "I am most fortunate, for you are all teaching me that devotional service to Krishna is the essence of all education. Tumi shabajar koro shubhanusandhan mor chitta henoloy she bhagyavan." I sincerely feel that one who is blessed by all of you is most fortunate. Kotodina paraya mor chitte ache chalimo bhujia palo Vaiṣṇaver kache. I have already decided that after teaching a while longer, I will go serve a pure devotee. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Lord said, "After studying in this way for a while longer, I will approach a Mahabhagavat Vaishnav, and after understanding the topics of the spiritual world, I will follow him." In other words, I have a desire to first become expert in studies, and then cultivate pure Vaishnava principles. Eto boli hasi Prabhu sevaker sane, Prabhur mishaya keho Prabhure nachine. After saying this, the Lord smiled at his servants. By his influence, however, no one could recognize him. E mata thakura sabhar chitta hare, heno nahi je jane apekha nahi kore. In this way, Nimāi attracted the heart of everyone. There is no one who escaped his power of attraction. E mato khone Prabhu Vaise Ganga tire, kokhono brahmen prati nagare nagare. Prabhu dekhile matra nagariya gan, parama adar kori bandena charan. Whenever the residents saw the Lord, they would welcome him with great respect. Narigan dekhi bole, eto madan, stri loke pauk janme janme henodhan, pandite dekhaye brihaspatir saman, vriddha adi pada parme koroye pranam, yogi gane dekhe jeno siddha kalevar, dushta gane dekhe jeno mahabhayankar. When the ladies saw Gaur, they said, "Here is Cupid himself. Let women receive such a treasure, birth after birth." All the scholars saw him as equal to Brihaspati, and even elderly men offered obeisances at his lotus feet. The yogis saw the Lord as a personification of mystic perfection, and the miscreants saw him as a personification of death. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sri Gaurasundar was so extraordinarily beautiful that ladies were overwhelmed on seeing his unmatched form. He was so brilliantly learned that scholars saw him as the intelligent spiritual master, Brihaspati. The yogis who survive on air and the munis who raise their semen saw him as a Siddha Mahapurush, a perfected being, and the sinful, ill-natured people saw him as the formidable chastiser, Yamaraj. We have 3 more verses. Divasa eko jare Prabhu, Divas eko jare Prabhu koren sambhasha, bandi pray hoy jeno pore prem phasa. If the Lord spoke with someone just once, that person was bound by ropes of love. Gaudiya Bhashya. Those who spoke to the Lord for even a day became bound by his inseparable love. Vidyara se jata Prabhu kore ahankar, shune tathapi priti Prabhure sabar. Although everyone heard about how the Lord was proud of his scholarship, they still loved him dearly. Gaudiya Bhashya. Generally, those who are maddened with pride due to education become envious of other learned persons. Envious persons do not desire to hear glorification of others' knowledge. But by seeing the Lord's pride of learning, everyone became pleased. Yavane o Prabhu dekhi kore boro prita, Sarvabhuta Kapaluta Prabhura Charita. Even the Yavanas felt love for the Lord, for the Lord's characteristics is to show mercy to all living entities. Gaudiya Bhashya. The natural envious propensity of the Yavanas the natural envious propensities of the Yavanas who are envious of the Hindus was not directed towards the Lord. Rather, it transformed into pure affection. Gaur Hari exhibited special magnanimity towards everyone. Porai Vaikuntanath Navadvipa Pure Mukunda Sanjay Bhagyavanter Duare. The Lord of Vaikuntha taught his students in the courtyard of the fortunate Mukunda Sanjay. Oh yeah, this is where we left. Sorry, we're leaving off in this verse 62. So even the Yavanas felt love for the Lord's characteristic is to show mercy to all living entities. Okay, Hari Bol Kishore. All right, so that's our reading for today. And tomorrow we will continue this chapter. All right. What am I doing? Okay, so let's do a quick Mahamantra and then end for today. Hare Krishna, no, let me do a different melody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gadādhara Giridhari, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai, Rashata Shishmar, Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa, Rashata Shishmar, Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa, Rashata Shishmar, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa, Rashata Shishmar, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupa, Rashata Shishmar, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki Jai, Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gaura Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaiṣṇavas Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Śrī Rupa ki jai. Śrī Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Śrī Jeev Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sharda Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Śrīla Das Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल वृंद मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री मुनु देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Gaudiya Bhashya commentary of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Shri, what did we read about? We read Mukunda Pandit ki jai. Shri Gadādhara Pandit ki jai. Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaiṣṇava Vrinda ki. Shri Hari Naam Sankirtan ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवाय कृष्ण भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranams.
Dandavat pranams. Oh, I see your question here, Pamatarani Mataji. Is that Tulsi outside of my window? No. Do you want to see where I am? It's really beautiful. 1 second. I'm gonna. 1 second. Here. Let's see. It's a very, very beautiful rural part of Navadvip. Here. It's
Wow.
it's just like this. It's a very we have Tulsi here.
Looks like Hawaii.
Yeah. There's people Tulsi.
I see Tulsi Jai.
And yeah, and there's like big mango orchards here. Sorry, not there's big lemon orchards here right behind the house. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be staying here for a little while now. I don't know for how long, maybe I don't know. It depends. Right now, Gurudev's Pujari Subalsaka, he's staying here, and it's not nice for him to be in this rural area all by himself, and so I'm staying here with him. So yeah.
Wow.
All right. Hare Krishna, everybody. So I'll see you all tomorrow, and yeah, that's Radhe.
Haribo.
Haribo, thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
I'm glad
Thank
I
you.
can have it. Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm just checking YouTube and Facebook. Oh, Haribo, Andira Mataji, Karuna Didi, Govinda Saha, the Shri Mataji, everybody, and Sudevi Didi, Gopi Kant Prabhu, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Ganga Mataji. I already said Shri Mataji, right? And then here is Shubhananda Prabhu, Nri Hari, and Bhavatarani Mataji. Nri Hari Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. See you all tomorrow.